Carly Meyer, licensed and certified speech language pathologist, and welcome back to my channel. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, go ahead and hit the subscribe button below. If you watch all my other videos, and if this video has helped you and your little one, make sure to hit that thumbs up button. And also check out tons of free parent and therapist resources at speedyslp.com, and don't forget to sign up for that email list where exclusive content goes out monthly. Okay, so getting right into it, I actually met with a parent who is a doctor, and she was explaining to me that her son only has one word. However, she doesn't know whether or not to use that word as a quote-unquote real word because the word is not used correctly in context. So I thought, wow, this is something that a lot of parents struggle with determining if their child is saying words or not, and they don't really know how to go about improving their expressive verbal vocabulary as far as what your child is able to produce. So that's what I'm going to talk to you about today. So if your child, for example, if your child can say no and they're around one years old, 12 months to 15 months, typical where we see about 1 to 15 to 20 words start developing between that time frame as far as typically developing children go. But if your child already has a speech or language delay, we know that they're going to meet other developmental milestones that are pre-linguistic skills that come before talking. So if your child is saying no, but they're not saying it in context or with the correct meaning, then the first thing I want you to do is back up and then make sure that we're not pressuring them to say that word, okay? And so you're like, well, how are they ever going to use that word then? What do you mean? Tell them to not talk. No. We don't want to do that. But what we want to do is make sure that they are meeting those pre-linguistic skills that come before it. So this is for a child who has great joint attention. They have appropriate play skills. They're doing pretend play. They're able to maintain eye contact. They're using communicative gestures. And that is a lot, or they're imitating you as well. If they're imitating gross motor skills like they're running around, if they're imitating fine motor skills like they're clapping, and then they're also imitating facial expressions like they're surprised or like a smile or a sad face, whatever it is. And I do have another video on imitation if you need, which I will put right here, on how to increase your child's imitation skills. So then we're going to move on to gestures. So communicative gestures are such a huge portion of communication skills that are oftentimes overlooked by parents as well as therapists. And so we want to make sure that we're incorporating lots of communicative gestures because that lets us know that the child receptively understands the words that are not yet coming out. And so you're like, okay, what's a gesture? Thumbs up is a gesture, pointing up, using a sign maybe for help, or waving hi, waving bye, blowing a kiss. Lots of communicative gestures, pointing to something. And so that is the first thing that I'm going to recommend that you do is back up to a more appropriate developmental level into a pre-linguistic skill, making sure that your child is already using those communicative gestures. If you need help with pointing, I also have a video on that. And also it's just more fun to be excited, and you can do yay whenever you're playing around. And if your child starts doing all these things that you're doing, you know that they are understanding the meaning behind those gestures, and then that also helps them start to pick up on words that are paired or correlated with the gestures. Okay, so moving forward, now that we're backed up, you're like, okay, I've worked on the gestures. Now what do I do? Also, I don't want my child to lose the word that they have. Great idea. So what we want to do is make sure that we're raising their motivation and encouraging them to use it appropriately. So for example, if the word is no, right? Your child's saying no, but maybe they mean yes. Here's how we're going to raise motivation and start to get them to correlate and to click, wait a second, no means I do not want something, right? You're going to pick out their favorite snack. So right here I have goldfish. If you watch any of my videos, you know that this has like 35 goldfish in here. So I would definitely dump these bad boys out and make sure that I have one at a time, and that's what I'm giving your child. So I would say, oh, want goldfish? Yes or no? And if your child says no, even though they mean yes, if they say no, I will eat the goldfish. Why? Because they're gonna be like, oh, why'd she eat my goldfish? And I really want them to try, and it's gonna take more than one time. Child's probably going to get mad, but that's okay, because what I want them to do is come back to me to want another goldfish, and then we're going to do it again. And if I say yes, No. I also have a video on how to teach your child yes and no if they are not at that level yet, which I will put right here. Okay, so again, you're going to ask them if they want the goldfish. If they say no, you eat the goldfish or you throw it in the trash. You could do this with food. I love doing it with food because it's something quick and easy, and a lot of kids like snacks, something that they can't normally get. You could also do this with their favorite toys. Make sure we're raising motivation by doing it with something that is really important to them and not just something that they don't really care about. Like, do you want to read a book? No. Right? They don't really care. Okay, no. And so that is the second way that we're really going to help your child to make the correlation between the word that they are saying and using it correctly in context. And then the third way and the final way that I'm going to say that we want to increase your child's expressive language skills by offering more words. However, we want your child to use these words appropriately. And so the best way to start is by using onomatopoeias, which is one of my favorite videos ever. And so I'm going to put that video right here as well. And so these are exclamatory words or words that are fun words, right? Like wee, yep, boom, bang, crash. And then even a lot of times I'll just fall down like this. I'll be like, whoops, right? And you'll fall down and they're silly, like, uh-oh. What we want your child to do is recognize these words. And as long as you can even spell the word, or if it's just a short vowel word, or like, you know, whenever you're hungry going, you can take a bite or you could take your drink and then go, ah. Making those fun sounds, that is communication, and that is a great place to start because one, it's super fun. You're not bossing your child around trying to get them to say milk, say mama, say dada, you know, whatever it is that you want them to say. We're just encouraging their natural use of language. Again, using those gestures, imitating facial expressions, and then we're also drawing attention to our mouths. If you need some speech sound hand cues, those are on my website at speedyslb.com. I'm also coming out with a video very, very shortly with all of the hand cues in one place, which will be super convenient for y'all. And then also, whenever you're doing these, practice makes perfect, right? Repetition, 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 over and over again. Fall down, whoops, oh, whoops. Okay, and so a lot of times I will sneeze stuff off my head, so I would put these on my head and be like, chew! So I gave a hand cue right there with the ooh, the long vowel, and then at the same time, it's a verbal routine where I'm doing the same thing over and over and over again, and this is gonna help your child with oral motor planning, and that's the ability for the mouth, for the brain and the mouth to connect, to say, oh, I know what I should do next with my mouth after she goes, I'm giving the verbal and the visual cue right here. Achoo! And you can fake sneeze, fake cough, even just giggling or laughing. Those are all speech sounds and they count as words as long as they are used appropriately and in context. Now, if you're watching this video and you're like, wait a second, my child says a lot of words or says a lot of phrases, but I don't think that they 100% understand what they're saying, make sure to check out the video on Echolalia, and I will put that video right here. And so I hope that these 3 tips or tricks helped you learn how to improve your child's not only expressive language skills by using words appropriately in context, but also understand how to make correlations to improve your child's vocabulary and receptive language skills, which are super important throughout their development as a child. Okay, guys, so make sure to leave me a comment down below and ask me any questions that you have, and also let me know what your child's favorite activity is so that I can start incorporating these into my videos. See you next time.